What's up, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with NIO, Tesla, SPY, and the overall markets. I'm also going to talk about why tomorrow is going to be a very important day as we have the notorious NIO day coming out, not to mention more news and data. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15 in total, not to mention 8.1% APY in uninvested cash. The offer is in about 10 days from now. Anyways, let's talk about what's happening with the market. So the market made a very, very monstrous bounce for today. We saw a lot of buyers stepping after PCE data came out. I mentioned to everyone that PCE is going to cause a big move whether the market bounces or not. Instead, we got a nice bounce because of the fact that the data was quite decent. So if NIO could break resistance at 4.57, we're going to be looking for an attempt to get back up towards these highs right here, especially at the 4.6 area. And if that breaks, we could be looking for even more upside. If you reject here, we could be looking for a dip back down to fill that gap at 4.4. Whether or not we get a bounce is going to depend on something very big, so I want to talk about what that is. Please mark your calendars for December 21st, 2024, because we have NIO Day coming up. It's going to be in China, and this typically draws a lot of interest for investors and analysts. Now, this is when they could be unveiling new products and new features. I think that's very, very awesome. We are going to be expecting two big announcements to be official, to be the official unveiling of its ET9 sedan, and then the official launch of its Firefly brand, if anything. That's going to be very cool for them, especially as time goes on. They may also talk about what their sales goals are. So, for instance, they are projecting to double their sales for 2025 as a whole. And then on top of that, we're going to be looking for what their sales are projected for the end of this year. So we'll be watching to see what they say about that. With their new products potentially coming out, we'll have to see how that ends up going for them. And this draws in a lot of attention for more upside for the share price. Last time NIO Day came out, there have been some in the past that didn't really cause as big of a move. So hopefully we do get some good volatility and they unveil some cool products. Now, as far as many years go by, NIO does have some very, very nice predictions for the future. For the shorter term, I just want to say this. There are going to be some hardships in the way, okay? Because firstly, they're trying to get their sales up and they're trying to improve in those ends. But you have to remember this. As their sales begin to scale, they are planning on hitting profitability by 2026. Like I said in my videos earlier, I mentioned that the year is coming to an end and we're almost at 2025 already. So in a little bit over a year, NIO is going to be hitting profitability most likely if they could truly get their targets up. They are going to be opening another factory very soon to scale production even higher, and that could really help their sales and their profitability. That's going to be key for them, at least moving forward, especially for lots of investors to get attracted. And before they hit profitability, right, if we have more downside, those are going to be good buying opportunities for the long term, because if the share price starts to run like crazy, right, it's going to be absolutely fantastic, absolutely incredible. As far as NIO goes, at least for now, just know that going into the future, the option chain is not too crazy. Volume is now at about 35 million, so a little bit flat volume. Goldman Sachs maintains their sell rating for the company, and the price-price ratio is very flat as we're just waiting for more data. Mondays tend to be a little bit weaker, Tuesdays and Wednesdays tend to be stronger, and we'll have to see what happens after this. For other factors out here, just know that the market got a nice bounce. We saw Nvda, Aapl, big tech all in the green. We did see Tesla sell off a bit because of some negative news. Besides that, the majority of the stocks out there were doing a great job. Today, the reason why the market bounces is because PCE data was quite nice. We got some good growth overall in terms of our numbers, but I just want to say that the numbers, excuse me, were not as bad as some people were projecting, and we saw the PC numbers coming below expectations. So not bad whatsoever. Good looking numbers. PC came in cool, and that's what helped the market rebound. Now, next week on Monday, we have minor data, especially for Tuesday, same thing. And then Wednesday, the market's going to be closed for Christmas. Thursday, we just have initial jobless claims. Then Friday is also very minor. So there's not really any major data coming out for the rest of the year. We're approaching the end of the year, and now it's all going to be coming down to algorithms and what these market makers and hedge funds want to do. Also for earnings, just know there's not really any significant earnings coming out over the next 2 weeks for the holiday season because of Christmas and New Year's. So just keep that in mind. And then besides that, the fear and greed index is still at fear. It's getting closer to neutral. This should try to rebound a bit. The market was at extreme fear. Now it's just at fear. It's going to try to climb back up. And the put to call option ratio, as soon as there were more puts being bought, the market gets bought right back up. So you guys can see how that effect ended up taking place. The VIX has not lost. It's a 50 daily moving average. So there's still potential for it to bounce. So I don't think the market's in the clear quite yet. As far as NIO goes, if NIO day causes a big bounce, you want to break past 4.6. If that's the case, we're looking for a push for the 4.8 area. If we lose 4.5, we're looking for a dip back down to fill this gap. So it could go either way. Now, moving forward, just know this. SPY, it is showing some signs that it wants to reverse, but we need to break 595. If we break that, I'm looking for 599, and eventually this imbalance takes us back up to about 605. So we could be approaching all-time highs again if we truly break 595 next week. If not, there's always the possibility that this could just be a the signs that this is going to reject one more time. This is just like a dead cat bounce. So both of the perspectives are possible, but if anything, I would say that this chart does look a little bit more like it wants to rebound because we dumped so hard so fast and we got a big green bar. Generally, when that happens, what happens is we could dip a little bit more than we try to rebound. So long as we get back above 595 and we don't end up losing 588, I think there's a good chance that we dip a bit then bounce and we try to get right back up. For ES, we're trying to rebound as well. We're looking for essentially 5980. So we could dip a bit and try to rebound. If we break past our resistance at 6,000, we're looking for a bigger push for 6,050. So look for a dip and a bounce is the most likely possibility, and we'll see what happens after that. If we lose support right here at 5950, this could be dipping lower, but there's no sign of that quite yet. So it's going to dip and bounce, and we'll have to see if that ends up being the case. For other factors out there, we have Nvda. Nvda is trying to break out right here. We're looking for 136 as our resistance. If it breaks this, we're looking for 140 to easily come. So this is showing some life right now, and there is potential in this chart. But let's see if we can break past 136 to break out more. For Bitcoin, we look more decent. We're forming kind of like an inverse head and shoulders here. As long as we don't lose 96,300, we could be looking for a rebound for 99,600. So it's showing some life. Tesla is flat right now. We're range bound between 420 and then 438 now. That's going to be our key range. If we break past 438 going into next week, this could try to rebound. If we come short and we lose 420, we're looking for a drop. We're range bound right now. It's been like this for almost 2 days, going back and forth between these levels for the majority of the time. So we're waiting to see if Tesla breaks out higher. If we get a rug pull, we're stuck right now. The reason why Tesla dipped is because we got all this bad news about how there's this like recall, quote unquote, according to like different news sources. However, it wasn't a conventional recall. This was simply just Tesla having to do a software update to fix an issue involving how they're reporting tire pressure issues. So that's all it's going to take to fix it, just a software update. So it's not your typical recall. Despite that, we still saw a little bit of a dip. For other factors, we also have the NASDAQ 100 or the NQ futures charts. As you guys can see, we are retesting. We're going to likely retest this low here, come down a little bit more. And we need to bounce and break past 21,800. If that breaks, I'm going to be looking for a full-on recovery attempt. It is a little bit tricky since there's going to be less volume next week because of the Christmas weekend. But as long as we don't lose this low, there's a chance that we could be making a higher low and just continuing to push. QQQ is also looking decent, but I want to see it break past 523. If we come down and make a nice rebound and break past that, we're looking for a bigger push. I think we could be going all the way back up towards all-time highs if that breaks. So we got this nice corrective move. We dropped almost like 40 points. So we want to see if this could make a nice comeback if we can try to break past 523 next week. For Aapl, it's looking more bullish. This already got the breakout, so we're looking for 255 to continue to hold. Eventually, we could be approaching 258, so it's looking pretty good. The IWM Russell 2000 is trying to bounce here. Nice job as it got back above 220. So as long as we hold 220, I could be looking for a test of 225 next week. Coin's looking decent. We just can't lose 273. And as long as we hold above it, we're looking for 290 as a potential target. Amazon, as long as we don't lose 225, we're looking for a bounce for 228. That has potential in my opinion. Meta, as long as we don't lose 586, we're looking for a rebound for 595 and then 600. For Microsoft, we're in a range right now between 430 and 441. So this might attempt to rebound for 442 and then these higher levels. So we'll just have to see how it goes. We are stuck in the middle, so give it some time. And then for Google, we're trying to rebound here. As long as we don't lose 192, we could be trying to push back up for 195 or higher. So I see potential in all of these, but we have to give this some time. With that being said, I thank you all so much for listening. The market has potential to bounce. It's looking like it's showing some life, but we need more confirmation going into next week. So far, it favors upside a little bit more. But for NIO, This is going to be heavily dictated by NIO Day. Will this cause a big bounce? If we do break past 4.6, I think we could get closer to like 4.84. We also have this big gap to fill in the 5, so that could be coming too for a big bounce. There could be a big bounce coming. This could be like a double bottom like structure, which leads to a big breakout here. Maybe, but it depends on NIO Day. So get ready for that. We'll see what NIO announces with the new products and how things end up going. Otherwise, I thank you all so much for listening. I'll be back on Sunday to give you guys another update. Until then, have a good day and peace out.